I play a hard-hitting game. I just like to have receivers think about me a little bit while they're trying to catch the ball.
Every place he went, I'll tell you what, he set a standard was still yet to be met in many places.
Most defensive backs tried to stop receivers. Jack Tatum tried to end their night, and usually succeeded. NFL legends don't talk about Jack Tatum the way they talk about other safeties. They talk about him with a specific kind of respect. The respect you give someone who changed how receivers thought about crossing the middle of the field. The assassin didn't just hit hard, he hit with a precision and a purpose that made the entire passing game think twice. 3 Super Bowl appearances, one of the most feared defenders of his era.
When you think of Jack Tatum, you think of Ohio State football. I was in high school when he was playing here at Ohio State. So the 2 guys that I guess I marveled at all the time were Jack Tatum and Rex Kern. Everyone had to love Jack Tatum, the way he played. He gave us the brand of Ohio State defense that we've enjoyed for many, many years to follow. He's been really a lead person in terms of the game of football, the battle with diabetes. He was always there for everyone, whether it was in terms of getting ready for a football game or raising funds for diabetes, or maybe most important, raising awareness. He lived life the way it should be lived. We miss Jack Tatum, there's no question.
It was 4th and 1. Earl Campbell had the football, and the 2 guys hit and collided, and they just was like that, like 2 rams or bulls or something, and then they just fell into the end zone for a touchdown. Both of them knocked out. That was the most vicious hit that I have ever witnessed in a lot of years of football.
Every time Jack spoke to the team, he had a presence about him, and you could see in his eyes and you could hear in his voice what it meant. And he was able to have that presence every time he spoke to the Buckeyes of what it meant to play in the game.
How great a player he was, and a big-time playmaker, big-time hitter. But just hearing from him when he would come and take the time out to speak to the younger players, that meant a whole lot.
Well, I mean, his physicality really was something that set him apart. You know, he really defined the Raider image when he was with them, and he kind of set the tone for what we expect out of our defensive backs and really all the players on our team in terms of physicality. He'd come in for the biggest games, the Michigan games, and if we had a big out-of-conference game, he'd come in for that and speak to the team. And he's the guy that everybody in the country really respects because he was such a tough guy, such a tough player, and he really, like I said, he could change a whole ball game with one collision. This is how he could do it.
My number 1 Jack Tatum hit of all times was we were playing the Denver Broncos, and Riley Odoms, who's about 6'5", 260 or so, comes across the field. All of a sudden, whack! And Riley goes on the ground and lays there, and his head, eyeballs went back up in his head. And I said to myself, he killed him. Luckily, Riley was okay. They helped him off the field. Tatum's shots sounded different. Most guys tackle, and you hear shoulder pad. There's a certain sound you make. But a Tatum tackle was like a car wreck. We used to keep score. 1 point for a limp off. And that would be semi-concussion-y when they'd often stumble around and stuff. But a knockout was like Tatum's specialty.
Jack was one of my best friends. I miss him dearly. We were both very, very proud to play for and go to school at a wonderful institution.
He's one of the best safeties ever played the game, and just kind of to be here in the Raider organization, just to kind of grow up with his legacy.
He was the benchmark. When you were a safety coming into Ohio State, he was the benchmark that you were aspiring to become. And at the time, no matter what you did, nothing was ever as good as what Jack Tatum could have done.
He had that innate ability to explode on a ball carrier. As a hitter, you hit beyond your target. It's kind of like dimensions. You hit 2 guys back, so that takes you through. He perfected that. Great hit, wasn't it? That right there alone should put Jack at number 1. Have you ever seen that in football? Guy gets hit so hard his equipment comes off and rolls. He got separated from his helmet. I never seen that. He makes contact, that person goes down, and he's looking over. Number 6, reevaluate that. I don't know who you got. I don't even want to know who you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
He was a great football player, one of the most intense ball players I ever saw. Great talent. When When he got drafted as a senior, I knew that of all the guys on our team, that Jack Tatum was meant to be an Oakland Raider, and that when they made him a free safety, that somebody would get hurt because of the way he hit.
Jack Tatum was a great tackler, and some called him a dirty tackler, and I won't do that. I don't think
he's a legend, and the things he did on the field, too bad we can't do some of those things now, because it really sent the intimidation factor out.
Well, I think anybody that's come through here has got a good idea of who Jack Tatum is. Obviously, we've got a big hit of the week named after him. We've got a sign hanging up, and I think every year he'd come back for the Michigan game and he gave a little talk there at senior tackle. And so his history, his legacy is well known throughout the players from the time I was here, and it'll be long past that.
Jack Tatum wanted to be known as the one guy to ever play the game that if you come near me, I'm not only just going to hit you, I'm going to make you regret that you ever played professional football. I will never say that anybody out there in the NFL is trying to kill someone. But if there was somebody, that would be Jack Tatum.
To see him come in and talk to us, it was a surreal feeling. You're already ready to go. It's Ohio State, Michigan. You got butterflies. You just want to go out there and play, and to see a guy like Jack Tatum, a historian, a guy that defined defense, defined hard hitting, to define passion of football. It just made it that much more special.
Football is a collision sport, and Jack Tatum was as good a collider that I've seen in a football uniform. And the fact that he was a secondary guy and could deal out that kind of punishment, I tip my hat. He's not a criminal to me. He's a heck of a football player.
Woody told us that when we came to Ohio State, we'd make lifetime friends out of our teammates. And Jack was just one of those super people, an incredible athlete who had the most outstanding ability to explode into an offensive guy. I remember when we were playing in the Rose Bowl, he caught OJ at the goal line and stopped him, preventing him from going in for the score. And Tate's one of those great people, and we miss him greatly.
Jack Tatum played 12 seasons in the NFL. In those 12 seasons, he became the standard for what physical safety play looked like. Receivers adjusted their routes because of him. Offensive coordinators drew up plays around him. Quarterbacks hesitated before throwing into his zone. That kind of influence, changing how the entire offense thinks, is rare at any position. The assassin earned that influence one hit at a time. Subscribe for more NFL legends.